in the windswept reaches of Carnarvonshire, where the Lorne Peninsula juts into the Irish Sea like a defiant finger. The village of Aberdaron clings to cliffs battered by salt and storm. Here, in 1780, a small farm cottage welcomed Richard Robert Jones, a child destined to become Dic Aberdaron, a folk hero whose name would echo through Wales like a bard's song. With his pockets stuffed with books, a cat at his heels, a ram's horn slung about his neck, and a hareskin hat perched rakishly on his head, Dic roamed the land, a figure of mystery and magic. By his death in 1843, he'd mastered 15 languages and, some whispered, the art of commanding demons. Yet his tale is entwined with darker legends of sheep rustlers hanged on Bryn Wygrog Bryn and the spectral CNN Unwin, hounds of the underworld, who hunted souls under the fairy lord's command. Dic was born under a harvest moon, his cries mingling with the gulls' wails outside the cottage. His mother, Eleanor Weaver, with eyes sharp as flint, saw something uncanny in her son's gaze, as if he glimpsed worlds beyond the horizon. His father, Robert, a tenant farmer, taught him the rhythms of the land, but Dic's heart was drawn to words. By age 6, he'd scavenged books from peddlers and vicars, teaching himself to read by firelight, his cat, Saren, purring at his side. The villagers, wary of his feverish intellect, called him Dic Wylifro, Dic of the books, but none could deny his charm, a lopsided grin, a quick jest, and a tune on his ram's horn that could hush a storm. As a young man, Dic became a wanderer, his boots tracing Wales from Snowdonia's peaks to Pembrokeshire's shores. He carried a tattered satchel, its contents a library of Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and Welsh, alongside stranger tomes, alchemical tracts, and grimoires, whispered to hold forbidden knowledge. His hareskin hat, sewn from a beast he'd found dead on the moors, marked him as eccentric, but it was his deeds that birthed his legend. In Aberdaron, where thistles choked the fields and superstition ruled, Dic's powers were tested one sweltering summer in 1805. At Mathleam Farm, the reapers toiled under a merciless sun, their scythes blunted by a field thick with prickly thistles. The farmer, Owen Pooh, cursed his luck, for the harvest was vital to pay his rents. Dic, passing through with Saren slinking behind, overheard the grumbling and offered aid. "Give me an hour, Owen," he said, his eyes glinting like polished jet. The reapers scoffed, but Owen, desperate, agreed. Dic climbed a nearby knoll, his ram's horn gleaming in the light. He raised it to his lips, blowing a low, eerie note that seemed to ripple the air. Then, with words no man could pass, part Welsh, part something older, he called to the shadows. The reapers froze as a chill wind swept the field, and from the earth rose shapes, wisps of smoke with eyes like embers. These satanic helpers, as the village later called them, wielded unseen blades, and within minutes, the thistles lay severed, the field reaped clean. Dic pocketed a shilling from a stunned Owen and vanished down the lane, Saren's tail flicking in farewell. The villagers whispered of Dic's pact with darker forces, for who but a sorcerer could command such feats? He never denied the tales, his smile enigmatic as he recited Homer or chanted psalms in flawless Hebrew. By his 30s, Dic was a polyglot, conversing with scholars in London and sailors in Cardiff, his mind a labyrinth of 15 tongues: Welsh, English, Latin, Greek, Hebrew, Arabic, and more. Yet he remained a creature of the wilds, sleeping under hedges, his cat his only constant. Some said he summoned demons to guard his path, others that the CNN Unwin, the hounds of Unwin, trailed him, their baying heard on moonless nights. Aberdaron's darker history shadowed Dic's legend. Bryn Bryn, the gallows hill overlooking the village, was a grim relic of justice, where sheep rustlers met their end, their bodies swaying as warnings to others. Among them was Alf Lewis, a wiry rogue hanged in 1798, his grave in Aberdaron churchyard marked by a cracked stone. The villagers swore Alf and his ilk were hunted not by men but by the CNN Unwin, spectral hounds with eyes of fire, led by Gwyn ap Nudd, lord of the fairies and Unwin's underworld. These beasts, said to chase souls to their doom, were tied to Dic in whispers, for some claimed he'd called them to rout thieves from the hills. His horns note their summons. One stormy night in 1830, Dic returned to Aberdaron, his frame gaunt but his spirit unbroken. At the Ship Inn, he regaled the locals with tales of distant cities, but his eyes lingered on Bryn Bryn, visible through the rain-lashed window. A shepherd, half drunk, pressed him. "Is it true, Dic? Do they call the hounds?" Dic's laugh was soft, his fingers stroking Siren's fur. "The CNN Unwin answer to no man," he said, "but they know my tune." He blew a note on his horn, and the room fell silent, the wind outside seeming to howl in reply. The next dawn, a rustler's body was found on the hill, his face frozen in terror, claw marks on his chest. Dic was gone, his footprints leading to the cliffs. By 1843, Dic's wanderings ended. He died in a Liverpool almshouse, his satchel beside him, sarin curled at his feet. The books were sold, the horn lost, but his legend endured. Aberdaron's elders still speak of him, claiming his spirit roams the lawn, a hareskin hat bobbing in the mist. On Bryn Bryn, where gorse grows thick, the CNN Unwin are said to hunt, their bays echoing on All Hallows Eve. Mathlem's fields, now smooth, bear no thistles, but farmers cross themselves at dusk, fearing Dic's demons linger. And in the churchyard, Alf Lewis's grave is shunned, for some swear a cat's shadow dances there, guarding the soul of Dic Aberdaron, the wanderer who spoke with hounds and devils, his horn's song a bridge between worlds. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, follow, subscribe, and comment below.